Hi, you guys. This is your girl, Tara Delicia. It's been a long while since I've done a video. I don't know about me and these trying to get back in the habit and taking these hiatus on here on YouTube, but I'm so active on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. So I'm trying to be consistent. You guys have forgive me. Be back. I know you're might be glad I'm back. Hopefully for good. But I want to thank everybody for joining me on this video. If it's your first time, welcome to my page. If you're returning followers, welcome back, you guys. So I on here just to get a lot on my chest. A lot has happened, but I'm not gonna do a whole dump on you guys. However, went back to the workforce part-time, and I'm at Sam's Club as a food demonstrator, which is really fun. I really enjoy it. And, it's like working at Walmart, but it's in Sam's Club. But, I still get that Walmart feel that I actually miss, you know what I mean? So, however, I've been there since, I think, March, April, May, one of them 2 months. This is what's going on. I stopped going to work. I had a situation where I hurt my arm, so I wasn't able to use my left arm for a while. There was a situation on the job that the manager who's over the demonstrator. Now, I'm not going to call no names or the name of the company, but if y'all go to Sam's Club, y'all probably would know, Tasty Tips or something like that. The supervisor, she's been acting so horrible towards me. And, I can admit, I have some things going on, and, I spent the whole summer in a moldy townhome on an air mattress in the living room, and, I'm trying to recover from that because they did come in and do a lot of repairs, but right now I don't feel like I feel like this is not home. I'm just here. And, I've been going through that. My home, they were trying to unlawfully evict me from my house, and I've been paying my rent, and they ain't been fixing nothing. So I had to, call the city and everything. And also my health situation from the mold, so that the mold can cause a lot of damage, you guys. This ain't no joke. I can just say that. But my health's been compromised because of the mold. So I'm trying to recover from that as well. So like I said, I know it's one thing after another. It's a hot ass mess. I promise you, it's too much for me. But however, going back to the manager, she just been giving me attitudes ever since the summertime, and she's been talking to me crazy, and I just don't know how to. I don't know how to confront it because I don't like confrontation. When I'm just I'm just in that point of life where I just want peace. If there's something wrong, we could talk it out like for some grown ass adults. Don't be a bitch, you know what I mean? But however, she was so terrible to me, talking to me crazy in front of customers, and crazy in front of the Sam's Club's workers, and in front of my peers for the demonstrators, Tasty Tips demonstrators. And, the thing about it, I don't know what this woman problem is. All I know that she said that she's bipolar. I don't know. She's been missing her doses of medicines. Let me just tell you this. I'm bipolar too. And I honestly don't need my medicine. I don't shut down. I just avoid the situation. I don't explode or nothing. I just avoid situations. So with her, like I said, I don't know what the hell problem is. But what really drew the last nail into the coffin was she. I had went in on this past Halloween. I was working a demo. I don't know what happened, but I know that my demo assignment was gone, because I saw, I look at my schedule every day until up to the day that I work, and she's telling me that, well, they could be canceled at any time, so you have to keep looking on the portal. I'm like, okay, I did look on the portal all throughout this whole time up till this morning, till I got here. I looked on the portal and my assignment was there. And then she first of all, she comes in late, like almost an hour and a half before I get off of work. She comes in late, and then she want to start nitpicking about some damn jalapeno dip that I was supposed to demonstrate. Okay, the store didn't have it, and plus my paperwork did not tell me to do both. It told me to do one or the other. And I may not have a degree, but I surely know how to read it. You know how it is when they said try, for example, demonstrate peanut butter or peanut butter on cracker, or strawberry jelly, for example, strawberry jelly. Okay. Some clubs don't carry certain things. I noticed that. So if they don't have the strawberry jelly and it says or grape, and you see another flavor, let's say it's apple, it didn't say do the apple, because the last time I did the one or the other, she told me, she reprimanded me for that, and I said, okay. She said, only go by your media list. I said, okay, that's fine. And you see, I take constructive criticism, but this hoe is sitting up here being a bitch towards me, and I'm just like, what the hell is her problem? And then you're supposed to try that. Well, she's like, well, pull up your media on your phone. Okay, I pull it up. I read it. Like, okay, what do you want me? Okay, I read it out loud. So she said, well, if they didn't have it, you were supposed to do that. And I said, but the media says the pineapple jalapeno dip, or the cranberry jalapeno. What was only there was the pineapple. So I don't know. Like I said, like I told these people, I felt like she was coming at me, because it's, leading up to this incident, she was nitpicking at every little thing I did. Even like there was an oversight on my paperwork. I did I did all three of the stuff on it. She's like, no, I don't want you to do all three. Do one or the other. Okay. And I'm like, bitch, leave me alone. And then she's telling me how to cook my food. Okay, I'm the demonstrator, and you're telling me what I need for my demo. Okay, first of all, it's an additive. If I don't want an additive, they say cook how you would cook. Me, I don't cook no 5-star meals for nobody unless it's me eating it. But this is a demo job. But she was just being hateful towards me that day. And when I went back there and told her, no, what was it? Oh, I was leaving at 3 o'clock because I had another gig I had to be at 3:30. So she wanted me to stay till 5:30. No, it's not going to happen. I've been telling her this for months. I have a whole nother gig, and I have to be gone by a certain time so I could get there early. And then she said, so all y'all leaving at 3? I said, well, I have a second job. And I don't know. I can't answer for them. And the other lady, she said, yeah, we came in at 9. And she's like, Sarah, she was like, we all could come in early and leave at 3. That's how it was last year. And and right there, it was a sign. She was like, I'm like, oh my gosh. So after all that, I'm cleaning my dish. I'm cleaning my stuff, cleaning my station, clearing out, make sure I have everything, and then I'm ready to go on my phone and do my survey. And next thing you know it, I can't find my survey. I'm like, I was like, okay, begin. I said, oh, maybe I didn't, start it. Okay, let me look for the check, to begin my check-in, my checkout. Let me see if I can find it. I couldn't find that. I'm like, that's weird. I can't find the survey. And then I could hear her, and well, it's right there. You can't miss it. Like, bitch, trying to say that I'm blind? I mean, come on now. And then, I ignored her. And then I said, well, I can't find my survey. I'm doing I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I've been doing this for months. I should know what to do. And then she was like, oh, because you're doing the wrong day. I said, no, it's 10. I said, I'm supposed to do the 10:31. I said, I know I work tomorrow. I said, but I'm looking for 10:31, which is Halloween, October 31st. She was like, so you came in on your day off? I said, well, no. I said, no, I didn't come in my day off. I said, I knew that I was supposed to come in today. And I said, I saw it on my schedule this morning. She said, well, you have to keep on. I told you guys, you have to keep watching for your demos because they can cancel at any time. I said, how's going to cancel while I'm at work? It doesn't make no sense because a demo did cancel, but it was still in the system. But she had me to stop that demo and start a new one. So I'm assuming she went into the system and took out my demo on purpose. That's my assumption, and nobody can't tell me nothing otherwise because I know it was there. And I said, why would I come up here on my day off? And I said, plus it's a day that I have to use Uber because my car is I loaned my car out to a friend, because he was going to come pick me up in my car later on. But she's sitting up here like mumbling her voice. And I said, well, okay. I said, well, it was an error, I guess. It wasn't no error. That's what she said. It wasn't no error. I said, well, it was an error. It was an error because I know it said 10:31. I said, I'm not gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna change my statement about it. And then I asked her, so what can I do to compensate for this day? Because I've already worked the shift. And she's gonna tell me, well, I don't know. You just have to come in and do your questionnaire. And you still have to work. I said, but that's not what I'm asking. I said, so what are we going to do to compensate this day? And then she was just doing too much. And, I said, whatever. Because right there, she was like, just being the devil. And then when I walked out, I was in my feelings. I was in my feelings. And then, I said, I was trying not to cry because I'm already having mixed emotions about what the hell is going on in my life, but I'm not, sharing it with the whole world. It's just, it's an overwhelming situation that I'm in at this moment. And then she's telling, so I said, I said, I don't like how she talked to me. I don't think I'm going to come back after this because I'm like, she's just being a bitch towards me and I don't know what's going on with her. And then the lady, one of the demonstrators, she's like, you don't have to talk to her that way. She didn't do no harm. Even if it was a mistake, you don't need to talk to her like that. And then next thing you know it, the supervisor, she gets up, started yelling, you know what, I'm getting tired of this SHIT, and y'all do the F y'all want to do, and I don't have to take this SHIT, and she started slamming stuff, and she threw the chair, like, when I say she threw the chair, not picked up a chair and threw it against the wall, but she stood up there and took her little swivel chair and knocked it against the file cabinet. And she said, okay, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tara. I'm sorry, Tara. like being, now she's making it worse. I said, and I'm telling her, I said, well, I said, Sarah, you're disrespecting me, and there's no need for you to be disrespecting me. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm getting tired of y'all bringing y'all problems on the job. And I don't never bring my problems on the job. That's the one-on-one rule. I don't never bring my problems on the job. But this heifer bringing her problems on the job because she stays in an attitude 24/7. But however, and I'm like, I was about to cuss her out, but I was just thinking about, it's my job. I need this job. It's flexible in my job, and I really like this job. I don't want to quit. And then next she's slamming her backpack. She's slamming her laptop into the bag, and she walks off the job. Yeah, I know it's a lot. Oh gosh. But, right there out, and everybody was like, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's going on? Okay, it was an honest mistake. It was why you don't have to go off the way you did it. But she was like, okay, I'm gone. I'm leaving. F this place. Blah, 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 blah. That's what the supervisor did on the job site. She went off on me. She took her frustrations out on me in front of everybody. The demonstrators and the Sam Club's employees that were back there. And, I haven't been back since. Ever since that day, I was so stressed out. I took out my frustrations out on my mom, my sisters, my friend. And God, I felt bad. And God knows I wasn't trying to do that. But she really, she just... crazy. But yeah, she did what she did. And I went down there, when I went down there to correct my time, I had an anxiety attack on the way to the job just to fix my time. And then she's sitting up here, she had a foul attitude towards me while I was there. She was helping a new associate, and then the new associate, started talking to me, and then she called herself trying to talk louder, and the new woman was like, I said you gotta watch her, and yeah, she did that to me, and I mean, it does hurt. I ain't gonna lie. It's like a trigger feel because the same thing I'm not gonna say the same thing happened to me like that in Walmart, but I endured 24 years of hell on Walmart because of what the managers and the supervisor were doing in there to me, and I just pretty much took the abuse, and I caught myself taking time off just to get myself together, and I go back to the workforce this year, and I get treated that way. The way she treated me like trash on a job, and there's times I've sacrificed, came in on my day. I came in a couple of my days off to help out, and it's just that like I said, I still don't know what her issue is. When I was out for, I was supposed to go back last week, but I couldn't because I had an arm injury. So I had my paperwork. I caught myself going out on the job to talk to her personally, and she wasn't there. So I left my paperwork on her desk, and the demonstrator people working there being nosy as hell, and just being in my business as ever. And they don't have it together either. I ain't gonna lie, they don't got it together. But however, I'm laying in bed. She calls me up saying, she's like, so are you gonna try to come to work or what? And I was like, I said, I was down at the job, and I dropped off my paperwork. And she was like, no, it says 11 to the 14th. Today's the 15th. if you haven't noticed. Now she's being a smart bitch, on the phone, and she ain't talked to me in, 2-3 weeks? And I said, well, if you read all of it, go on top and read all of it, it'll say, I'm going back on the 17th. And she's gonna say, oh, I didn't see that. Well, oh well, click, hung up in my face. I'm 45 years old and I don't have time for that, but I know I don't have to take the bullshit from her. But with me, I respectively gave her her space, walk away, because the way I felt that I was going to hurt her feelings and her whole her down to her answers, I was going to break her feelings and, hurt her feelings. But, and then, telling me I got 48 hours to respond. Bitch, I want to do something, okay? But anyway, however, so that's what's going on. And you guys, forgive me for cussing. And, it's not Christian, why? It's not Christianly, why, or nothing. But, when things happen to you and it triggers you, you just cannot help and do what you have to do. But, yeah, that's where I'm at. Just tell me, guys, what would you do if you were in that situation? I mean, I get this thing where, oh, girl, if I would have whipped her ass, blah, 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 blah. I'm not all about violence. I'm all about getting to the root and solving the problem and keeping it moving. But apparently she's going to be a smart aide till HR contacted her. Oh, yeah, I did a grievance against her. Through HR, and I don't know if they contacted her or not, but I'm trying to hold out. Well, I'm not going to call in. I'm going to tell her how I felt, how she treated me, and, and there's no way or no ways around it. I text her market manager, and I doubt she gives a crap because she ain't responded to none of my text messages. But I did get a hold to HR about the situation, and hopefully God will work it out in my favor and where I can still work there. But if they got to replace her, they need to replace her because she's not manager material. She's unprofessional. She's very unprofessional. And then I'm talking about the Sam Clubs at the Legends and KCK. That's where it's at. So I might... I don't know, but at this moment, I really don't care. But I'm gonna get off here. I'm tired, and my voice is cracking. You can hear, and my voice is kind of cracking. But you guys, you tell me what you think on this situation. Let me know in the comments, and there might be a part 2. Bye.